Go, 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 go. There she go. What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. What a week, y'all. We made it through. Lord Jesus, we made it through. Yeah, it was a long week. Today I went to the gym, I went to the grocery store, and I was watching Naked and Afraid, the new one. Well, I guess it's new. It's from last year. I haven't watched Naked and Afraid in so long. And then I was like, you know what? I need to pair this with some Call of Duty. So I got back on that game. And yeah, did a little laundry. And that is just it. Waited to get this week closed out, to get to the weekend, let my hair down, and just relax. Lord, changing a password today almost took me out. These new password links that you need, it's so much work. I almost dread changing my password these days. But yeah, that's the hardest thing I had to do today. I would say this was harder than the Stairmaster, for real. But yeah, I went to the gym. I didn't get to bid on my favorite Stairmaster. Somebody was on it. And yeah, that's about it, y'all. I had Chick-fil-A for dinner. I'm gonna make, I guess, my husband wants more tacos. Not shocking, but I'm gonna do that this weekend. And yeah, just, we don't have anything big planned this weekend. Might go see a comedy show. We need some extreme laughter after this week. That's one thing. I even went home. I watched The Office just to give me some laughs and chuckles in my life. I'm trying to watch nothing but laughs and lightheartedness just to keep my spirits up. I pray y'all spirits are kept up, and I pray that y'all had a good week and y'all will have an even better weekend. Let's get into this news. Because this will be Donald Trump's second term as president, the Republican Party will be looking for a new standard bearer in 2028, even as Trump's leadership in the GOP is stronger than ever. Donald Trump wins Nevada, NBC News projects, capturing a state he lost in both 2016 and 2020. Subsidies to buy insurance from the Affordable Care Act marketplaces are set to expire at the end of 2025. It will be up to President Donald Trump and Congress to decide whether to extend it. Y'all know he ain't extending that. Lamar Jackson outdueled Joe Burrow as Baltimore Ravens defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 35-34. A Mexican national who is in the U.S. illegally has been sentenced to 39 years in a Michigan prison for unaliving his girlfriend. The Los Angeles Lakers will send guard Bronny James to their G League affiliate beginning Saturday, according to ESPN. Not shocking. President-elect Trump's victory has scrambled next week's three-way contest to replace Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, the chamber's longest-serving leader, who is stepping down at the end of the year. Who will it be? A social media influencer known for drag racing videos unalived in a car crash early Wednesday on a New York City expressway. I guess he went out like he loved it. Federal judge chastises Rudy Giuliani for offering a farcical explanation of why he hasn't complied with a court order to turn over his valuables to former Georgia election workers he defamed after the 2020 presidential campaign. Probably hoping that Trump will make him not have to do that. Kirk Herbstreit, chief analyst on ESPN's College Game Day and co-host of NFL's Thursday Night Football, announces the unalivement of Golden Retriever Ben, who has appeared at football stadiums in the recent years. Rest in peace, Benny boy. The husband of a San Antonio woman who has been missing for a month has been charged with her unalivement. The mayor of Mississippi's capital is accused of bribery scheme that has also led to indictments of a prominent district attorney and former city council president. I know somebody from Mississippi was showing how brown they water is. San Francisco 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey is expected to return to the team for the team's game against Tampa Bay Buccaneers this weekend. I dropped Christian. I'm sick of him. Prince William says the past year has been brutal as his wife and father announced their diagnosis with cancer. Haunted by their past critiques regarding the president-elect Trump, U.S. allies are rushing to make diplomatic U-turns by deleting posts, brushing over their prior scathing remarks. Two sources involved in the transition process said Trump is expected to place a premium on the cabinet selections from outside the government service as opposed to sitting lawmakers. Rashida Jones pays tribute to her late father, Quincy Jones. Lucasfilm is developing a new Star Wars trilogy with X-Men alum Simon Kinberg set to write and produce these films. I hope it works because, you know, Star Wars people, they be serious about their stuff. For months, Yifi Skoo has gotten up every morning and set out on his bike not knowing where he'll spend the night or even where he'll get his next meal. That's because in his quest to cycle across America, he is relying on the kindness of strangers. Hurricane Raphael turns west after knocking out Cuba's electrical grid to 10 million residents leaves 10 million residents in the dark. Senate Republicans are going to have at least 52 seats next Congress, so who will steer their biggest majority in years? We break it down. A Jeopardy contestant is addressing a problematic clue given on October 28th episode that host Ken Jennings apologized to her for. You know they know. Dentists say fluoridated water was one of the most significant public health advances in recent memory. Now it may be removed from public water systems under the influence of President Trump and Kennedy. You know? People argue about that fluoride in the water. Is it good or not? I don't know. I know I've had some of it. With sports betting spreading rapidly on college campuses, it's no surprise some of the young voters are cashing in on newly legalized gambling on the presidential election. President Joe Biden addressed the nation Thursday from the Rose Garden in the first public remarks since election, where he vowed a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th. Local law enforcement and elementary school staff thwarted a potential school pew-pewing attempt Thursday in Kenosha, Wisconsin, leading to the arrest of a 13-year-old. Wow. Trump is already staffing up for his next administration. Bentley Motors is once again pushing back a target to exclusively offer all electric vehicles, with plans to continue leaning into the plug-in hybrid electric vehicles until at least 2035. Automaker Stellantis announced plans to cut a manufacturing shift and indefinitely lay off roughly 1,100 workers at a Jeep plant in Ohio. Why do people still drive Jeeps is my question. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ rose Thursday, extending Wall Street's rally in the wake of President Trump's victory, as traders weighed at the latest rate cut from the Federal Reserve. Because President Trump names campaign manager Susie Wiles as White House Chief of Staff. Dry and unseasonably warm conditions in northeast have plunged up much of the region into drought, fueling wildfires in New Jersey, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Alright, it looks like this is... Warner Brothers Discovery says the streaming platform Max added 7.2 million global subscribers in the third quarter. Days after the New York State Police lauded one of the troopers as a hero, they have launched a criminal probe into his claim that he was pew-pewed and wounded during a traffic stop. Yeah, they saying he lied about that. 3 people are charged in the relation to the unalivement of Liam Payne for abandonment of a person, followed by his unalivement, supply of narcotics, and so whoever came and gave him that stuff that made him fall or whatever out the of the balcony, they charged him. A robot that has spent months inside the ruins of a nuclear reactor at Japan's tsunami hit plant delivers a sample of melted nuclear fuel. A sample of melted nuclear fuel. Alright, let's see what I liked on here. So officials are urgently searching for 40 monkeys that escaped from a bio-research lab.
Kyra Naveau looks for 40 monkeys that escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility in Yemassee. WJCL 22 News' Kyra Naveau live in the Low Country, keeping his head on a swivel with those primates on the run. And of course, this is a public safety alert. Kai, what is the latest on these missing monkeys?
Well, Frank, good morning. So yeah, like you mentioned, 40 monkeys escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility. It happened around 9:45 last night, and police are asking anyone to just, if they see them, to stay away, and that's why we're here at the municipal complex here in Yemassee. But here's what police are doing right now to find those monkeys. So like I mentioned, 40 monkeys escaped 9:45 last night, and currently police have placed traps all around the area to capture those monkeys. Now, so far, I have no idea what those traps actually look like, and we're trying to get more information about that. But police are also utilizing on-site thermal imaging cameras in an attempt to locate these monkeys. Now, the monkeys are used at the facility for biomedical research. And this isn't the first time those monkeys actually escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility. Back in 2016, 19 monkeys made a break from the compound, but they were all captured about 6 hours later. Now, residents are being asked to lock their doors, lock their windows, and if they see these monkeys, to just stay away and call police. Now, we're trying to make some contact with the local police here to get any update on if they captured any, but so far we have not heard back. Live in Yemassee, I'm Kyra Naveau. Back to you.
You know, if you want to bring the country together, all you got to do is release some of them outbreak monkeys. So fans think they found Young Thug's missing $1.7 million custom Bubba Watson Richard Mille watch. A cop was seen allegedly wearing it while in court.
3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Can you tell the jury some of your responsibilities and what your role was?
Did Young Thug not see that big pill head dude wearing that watch? Because he was probably flossing it. Let's see what this girl talking about.
I have been married to my husband for 20 years. And in those 20 years we've been together, we never made love with the lights on. My husband preferred to make love with the lights off. No matter how much I asked him to turn the lights on, he never turned them on. Well, last night we were making love and I finally put my foot down. I told him he better turn the lights on or he's going to sleep on the couch. And he hates sleeping on the couch, so he finally gave in. He got up out of bed and he turned the lights on. When he turned the lights on, I noticed that he was holding a dildo. Me being confused, I asked him where did he get the dildo from because it wasn't mine. He said, "Honey, I have a confession to make." I folded my arms and I told him to go ahead and tell me whatever it is he has to tell me. He turned his head because he didn't want to look me in my face. He said, "These past 20 years we've been together, we never really made love because I've always been using this dildo on you." Oh, I was furious. Then he went on to say that's why he never wanted to turn the lights on while we're making love, because I would have found out. I said, "Honey, how could you do this? All this time and you never told me. Please explain yourself." He looked at me and he said, "Okay, I'll explain. But first, you explain the kids."
This girl, I don't know if she finds like these Reddits or something and reads them, or these jokes, but they're crazy.
Person at work, and they'll talk to you while they're supposed to be working, but you try to call them while they're on their break or at lunch. And they be like, look, man, you gotta call me back, man. And you be feeling bad, like, man, I ain't mean to bother you while you were working. Be like, no, I'm at lunch. You be like, well, I thought this was the time you were supposed to be talking. Be like, no, this is my time.
Listen, don't call on a break. Alright, let's see what else we got on here, y'all. Trump attorney Mike Davis threatens New York AG Letitia James. We're not messing around this time. They told Letitia, don't try to come for us. Elon Musk's estranged daughter Vivian Wilson questions staying in the U.S. after Trump's victory. She calls her father out. She said, I've thought about this for a while, but yesterday confirmed it for me. I don't see my future being in the United States, even if Donald Trump is only in the office for 4 years, even if the anti-trans regulations magically don't happen. The people who willingly voted this in are not going anywhere anytime soon. Wilson, who has been publicly estranged from Musk since 2022, also took aim at her father and other family members who support Trump, expressing disdain for their political stance. She wrote candidly, watching grown members of my ex-family in the media Twitter sphere recently makes me glad that I didn't develop my genetic or predisposition of apparently not having an effing spine. Okay. Caitlyn Jenner says, I am not a trans advocate. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but I am a trans person. Canada orders TikTok to shut down offices over security risk. They want them to cease operations. The Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry follows a security review conducted by Canadian authorities with input from the country's security and intelligence community. The app's parent company, ByteDance, has faced ongoing scrutiny over its potential data access and ties to the Chinese government. While the order mandates TikTok to wind down its business presence in Canada, including offices in Vancouver and Toronto, the government clarified that Canadian users will still be able to access and post content on the platform, unlike the outright ban seen on the government devices in Canada, the US, UK, New Zealand, and Australia. This move does not extend the general public's use of TikTok. TikTok, I don't know how much longer they'll be around. Former Michigan Township Supervisor arrested in child sexting resigns, but then he wins his re-election in a landslide. He defeated 2 write-in candidates despite facing allegations of engaging in explicit online conversations with underage undercover officers, posing as 15-year-old on Grindr and allegedly attempting to arrange a meeting. I guess they ain't gonna learn until he actually does something. Tia and Tiny demand a payment from ex-friend Sabrina Peterson after the court victory. They want all their payments, don't they? Texas State University police intervene as pro-choice and anti-LGBT campus protests heats up. No arrests have been made. I hate to say it, but I see more of that in the future. 3 women pew-pewed during a political discussion in Miami. Wow. A late-night political discussion took a violent turn in Miami early Thursday, leading in the pew-pewing of 3 women. According to police, the incident occurred just before 12:30 a.m. in the 500 block of Northwest 19th Street. The city of Miami police have talked. Tensions escalated, prompting one individual to retrieve a pew-pew from a vehicle. Why are y'all talking about politics after midnight? It's the whole thing is confusing. Trump's turbocharged denaturalization project sparks fear among immigrants community after election win. Stephen Miller says, yes, we started a new denaturalization project under Trump in 2025, but expect this one to be turbocharged. He is Trump's advisor, his favorite man. Kamora Lee Simmons embroiled in a legal battle over allegedly forgery, fraud, and multi-million-dollar property dispute. One of the key issues in her legal landscape in her battle over ownership of luxurious mansions in Beverly Hills, a property she occupies but is now under dispute in an ongoing litigation. Her company, Keyway Pride Limited LLC, is contesting an alleged sale agreement made by her husband, Tim Lesnar, or whatever his name is, with a company known as 25 Beverly Park Circle. Keyway Pride, which claims ownership of property, argues that Lesnar acted without proper authority when he attempted to sell the mansion in 2020. The company's legal team even suggested that the operating agreement Lesnar used to assert his authority was a clear forgery, adding another layer of complexity of the case. The spotlight on Kimura's finances doesn't end with that. Russell Simmons, her ex-husband, has raised further concerns over her involvement in several high-stakes transactions with Lesnar. At the heart of these allegations of 2018, this is one reason why Russell and his daughters ain't talking, but I talked about or played a storytelling on this like a couple of days ago when I said that Kimura's ex was tied in with that other scammer. So, yeah. Somebody said, wasn't she just in the comments early this morning gloating about Trump winning? Oh, Kimura, where are you now, girl? Somebody said she was just trolling Cardi in the comments with Trump pictures. Maybe she has the legal issues she deserves. Trump might pardon her, though. She stole Russell's money only to be broke and still blame Russell. Yeah, I mean, his daughters was mad about this, but I don't know. This might have some legs. I mean, Trump, they were mad about it, but anyway. The Geo Group private prison companies with billion-dollar ICE contracts see a stock surge as ICE tip line trends after Trump wins. It went up a lot. Right. Ambulance hits an Oregon cyclist, then charges him nearly $2,000 for a ride to the hospital. That's crazy. Bad Baby says her cancer medication made her lose weight. Okay. New York City's migrant food voucher program has been discontinued. The program, which allowed families to purchase food and supplies, was criticized by conservatives but aimed to save costs. Since March, the city's allocated $3.2 million for about 2,600 families. The city will not renew the program after its one-year term concludes, opting for more competitive contracting for asylum seeker programs. Yeah, y'all, the writing is on the wall. Diddy's Beverly Hills mansion is not attracting any buyers. I wouldn't want to live there. That thing almost needs to be demolished after the feds went through there. Nipsey Hussle's unaliver denied an appeal, and he will serve his 60-year sentence. Yeah, the Jacksonville water, after 2 years, is still brown. Ralph Macchio is to receive his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame later this month. Let's see. Federal judge rules against Biden's program for immigrant spouses. A district judge appointed by President Donald Trump found that the program violates U.S. immigration law. His decision aligns with a lawsuit filed by Texas and 15 other Republican-led states. The ruling is a major defeat for the outgoing Biden administration, which argued the policy known as Keeping Families Together promoted family unity among mixed status households. When it was announced earlier this year, officials said the roughly 500,000 undocumented immigrants will likely be eligible for the program. And they cracking down fast now that those election results are in. They cracking down fast. I have no idea who this Susie Wiles lady is, but that's Trump's new chief of staff. He says Susie is a tough, smart, innovative, and universally admired, respected. I have no doubt that she will make our country proud. Would you forgive your partner after they expose your relationship on social media? What does that even mean? I guess embarrassing you. Venting on social media about your relationship problems is a clear sign of emotional instability, immaturity, and need to validation, no matter where it comes from, and impulsive behaviors. Lack of trust happens after this, and so does public embarrassment and judgment. So for me, once somebody does this to me, you can leave me alone. So I guess it's just exposing y'all problems to social media. Alright, let's see what Reddit has going on. What's a realistic way for an average person to become rich? Don't say content creation. The best advice ever received in my life: get good at doing something wealthy people need, and you will always have to work. The guy who told me this fixed air conditioners on yachts. No one who could afford a yacht is going to put up with the AC not working on it, no matter what the current economic situation looks like. Realistically, it takes a long time. You're going to need a job that allows you to make more money than you spend. Invest at least 20% of that money into index funds, high interest savings accounts, certificates, etc. Consistently and frequently let it grow over decades. If you do this and max out your 401k contributions, you eventually become a millionaire and have enough to retire. How do you become richer as soon as the average person with the average job? Have rich parents that are no longer here. Well, I got rich because I got hit by a semi-truck. I lost a leg and got a multi-million-dollar settlement. Your experience may vary. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Ben Franklin. It depends on how you define being rich. If you're looking at it from being financially secure while you're comfortable, you have to earn more than you spend. If you're looking at it from becoming financially independent, then you'll need to save, invest, and work. If you're looking for FU money, start a business. This is too long. Find a job that nobody wants to do, then make a business out of it. Like picking that dog I seen up on the highway. If he's there tomorrow, I gotta call somebody because this has just been too long. What's the most awkward thing that's ever happened during a one-night stand? Spend 30 minutes laying on the bed with her, smoking my schmick and effing. Then her 14-year-old brother climbed out from under the bed where he was hiding. That's crazy. Brothers are weird. She turned on Enya and started crying after he finished and told me I was her first since her boyfriend passed away a week ago. It was pre-Uber, so I walked 5 miles in the snow that night. She really didn't waste no time on that boyfriend. I was 19 at the time, working as a security guard at the mall in New York. Been flirting hard with this gorgeous girl who just started working at Hollister. One night she asked me to give her a ride home after closing because her car was having issues and her ride bailed on her. We got to her place and she asked me if I wanted to come up and smoke a little weed with her, which I was down for. Things progressed pretty quickly once we got upstairs, and before I knew it, clothes were coming off. She's just absolutely stunning, and I'm basically drooling at this point. Everything is going super well, and indications are good that this is going to be more than a one-time thing. We were 40 minutes in and she's ready to go all in now. She wants to start from behind. I spread those cheeks to get the view we all love before taking the plunge, and what do I see? Just to the side of the butthole is a pebble-sized chunk of poo. I made a split-second decision that stuff happens, so I'm going to try and wipe that off of there and keep going. I make a move like I'm slowly massaging both of her butt cheeks and slide both of my thumbs, one on either side, slowly up her crack of her butt, and the success along the way I get it out. But at this moment where I effed up, I hesitated because I didn't know where I was going to wipe it after I got it off of her. In that moment of hesitation, she glances over her left shoulder and sees a chunk of poo on my thumb and loses her stuff. I'm going to be 40 next year, and all the years I have never heard a sound quite that she came out of her mouth. It was like a screaming banshee. She jumps up off the bed, runs out of the room sobbing. I follow her, and she locks herself in the bathroom. I spend the next few minutes trying to talk her through the door with her screaming at me, just leave, and crying, so I left. I tried messaging her throughout the morning the next day, but she won't answer me. I decided I'd try to have a word with her when I see her at work, but when I got to the store, they told me she quit that morning. I never heard from her again. Wow. Poor girl. Y'all are writing long books. I ain't trying to read that long. That was a lucky story, because sometimes I read too much and it's just terrible. He came in his pants before I had a chance to do anything and blamed it on my ferret. A ferret? I leaned in the same time that she leaned back. She knocked out my tooth. I took a chunk of her hair, of her scalp. About bad times all around. I hooked up with a single mom once, and when I woke up in the morning, she had gone and got her kid and refused to leave in the morning. So I was basically hungover, sitting there with a little child running around my house, and this little girl just sitting on the couch watching TV, repeatedly complaining, but I have nowhere to go. Finally got her out eventually. Poor kid. Definitely when his mom walked in on me effing him, she had a key to his place and decided to just come let herself in. She was so quiet, I never heard her enter his apartment or walk down the hall to his room. She was horrified, and rather than go home, decided to wait in the living room for us to finish so she could talk to us about it. I asked him if he felt okay discussing it on his own for a safety thing, insisting it was fine. She tried demanding I stay, and I was like, nope, not listening to that, so I left. She was ready to give y'all a lecture of y'all life. Let me see if there's any interesting Am I the A-holes? Let me go ahead and get in story times. Those were just all too deep and none of them were funny.
No more. Because when you play a game with kids, kids don't let you quit. Any parents in here know you got to ride that motherfucker out till they fall asleep. You got to play till they fucking sleep. Finally, I said, I don't want to play, kid. I don't want to do this shit. I'm tired. This motherfucker ain't jump. I don't want to do this. I said, I want to quit. She goes, yeah, you can quit because you'll never guess it anyway. I said, well, what is it? You really want to know, huh? I said, I really want to know. Yeah, you're never going to get it. I don't want to fucking play. I don't want to play with...
shows that talented of a skater.
And I think a man who leads but does not honor his wife's voice, I think he sets himself up to be hurt. My wife is more intuitive than me in some areas. She may be wiser than me in some areas. She may come around people say, I don't like that woman around you. I don't like this thing. David, this be sharp. Yeah. Honey, when you said that in the pulpit, you should have said that. You should have. So for me, it looks like early in my marriage, I was aggressive. I was prideful. I was arrogant. I would not listen to my wife or my kids if they tried to rebuke me. I just didn't have the humility to do that. Wow. I've grown now in my 40s to a place of humility where my oldest kids, I got three teenagers and one in college. They can come to me and say, Daddy, when you said this, that hurt me. And I know how to apologize. Or I allow them space to kind of reason a little bit. Like, you're saying this, but this is what we feel. And I've apologized. I allow space for my wife to gently rebuke me and come talk to me. It's like, honey, this is the way you made me feel. You shouldn't have said this. When you act this way, this is what it feels like being on the other side of you when you behave this way. And so I think now, for me, I think too many men think it's not manly to acquiesce to when somebody's confronting you in your home. They think it's not manly to do that. I think it shows more masculinity to show humility to say, I'm wrong. Because it's not instinctive. So for me, I'm trying to teach my two sons, real men know how to apologize, right? I teach my sons, real men own their crap. Like, when you smell like crap, own that. When you make a mistake, own that. When you fall short, own that. Like, real men, we own that. Like I think we are weak when we deflect. That's good. We are weak when we make excuses. We are weak when we can't acknowledge we are wrong. I think it takes more strength to say you're wrong. So I think biblical masculinity is both leading well, loving well, discipling well, but having the humility to say, I made a mistake. I'm wrong. I can course correct. And I think
that can go both ways. Everybody needs to learn humility and humbling, especially in a relationship, because nobody wins the family feud.
God is good. All the time. And all the time. God is good. I was skimming through this here obituary here, and I noticed that y'all done put me in here as a special friend. Who the fuck is a special friend? I was hitting up from the back every night. Oh. Yeah, every night. And y'all gonna act like I didn't put nothing on for this funeral. She wouldn't even have no wig if it weren't for me. The bitch was home with me now. Real talk. No, you know what? Fuck it, I got it. Hey, unhand me now. Do not touch me. Come here.
This is worse than a Tyler Perry movie.
Tough love from a divorce lawyer. Marriage isn't about love. It's about compatibility and work. Absolutely true. If you're in it for, oh my gosh, I get nervous and sweaty palms around them, well, those things will fade. But marriage is about the work and time, energy, and effort you're willing to put in. It's not an equal give and an equal take, but if you're willing to work at it, if you're willing to sacrifice, then you have probably the makings or the foundation of what can be a successful marriage. Tough love from a divorce lawyer.
I mean, listen, love can only get you so far. I mean, you love them, but yes, you gotta have that commitment, even when you don't like them.
America isn't a democracy. America is an oligarchy. It's a plutocracy. It's ruled by the rich, of the rich, by the rich, and for the rich. Democracy in America is just a smokescreen. It's a charade that they perform every election cycle just to pacify you, to make you believe that you have some stake in the system. I mean, look at the reality. For roughly the first 100 years of American so-called democracy, only white male property owners could vote. The so-called land of the free was built on the exclusion of the vast majority of its people from the democratic process. This gradually expanded to include all white males and then theoretically black males, but not in practice, in theory. Eventually, they had to grant the vote to women and Native Americans. Imagine that. The indigenous people of that land were the last to be given the right to vote in that land. What kind of democracy is that? But they never wanted power in the hands of the people. As the franchise of voting expanded to include those who were not white male property owners, the real power moved further and further away from the democratic process. They dangled the right to vote in front of you to make you think that you're a participant in power, but they kept the real power in the hands of the wealthy elite, more and more so over the years. As the right to vote expanded, the relevance of the vote contracted. I said no one ever intended for power to be in the hands of the people, and it never has been. I mean, just look at how money controls politics in America today. The Supreme Court's decision on the Citizens United case opened the floodgates for corporate money in elections. Billionaires and corporations pour millions and millions of dollars into political campaigns, drowning out the voices of ordinary people, of the whole electorate. They're hiring candidates. They're writing laws. They're purchasing policies that serve their interests. This isn't democracy, it's oligarchy. When a handful of wealthy individuals can dictate policy and sway elections, obviously democracy doesn't exist. Politicians just do a tour of duty in government to prove their loyalty to their funders before moving to highly paid positions in the private sector, working then for the same people that they worked for all along. You know, every time they do a tax cut, who benefits? The richest 1% receive the lion's share of that, while the rest of the people have to make up the difference. Whatever they don't take from the rich, they take from you. Instead of taking from the 1% who own and control more wealth than the rest of the 99%, they take it from you. And somehow you still think you live in a democracy. No. The democracy they have is the one they always intended to have, which is one in which only the rich and the owners of the society have any say. America isn't a...
Well,
A pistol-packing Jackson County grandmother who took on a burglar.
If you come in here, you're a dead son of a... That's a promise.
But when we shared the story on social media, so many viewers said they were proud and that they would do the same.
I come to the conclusion that you're not going to leave me alone, so why don't I just go ahead and do it? And you know, and it probably will help somebody.
God says the man grabbed a rubber mallet from a neighbor's shed and broke in. The glass shattered. He went inside naked and went upstairs and started ransacking her home. Since the 38 didn't do the trick, she grabbed her .45 revolver. A God called 911 and started giving them the play-by-play.
Please hurry. Please hurry. Please. Lord have mercy.
But she wasn't going to let the burglar know she was scared. When the man tried to come downstairs, God fired another warning shot.
He said, "Are you trying to kill me?" I said, "Oh, you finally got the message."
Deputies would finally arrive and arrest the man. A God never thought she would have to fire her guns, but she'd do it all over again if needed.
I don't know what his intention was, but I know what mine was. Mother. You don't know your days of the week?
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Know what the day of the week is?
They ain't say the months. What's the days of the week?
Thank you.
What today is?
Day third. So
what's the days of the week?
Days 30. Day 31st. What? November.
I didn't.
Later. Shut up, nigga. God damn it.
What today is? What today?
Tuesday. Wednesday. Thursday, you said.
Okay, you just said 3 days. What's the days of the week? Say all of them. You just said 3 out of 7.
Sure did.
What's the rest of them?
January, February.
Oh, goddamn. You don't know your...
listen, I'll have what he's having because after this week, I need to forget the days of the week as well.
Did y'all see the hair coming on my face? I had never had this much hair on my face before, ever. And I don't understand why it's... What? Oh my God. I don't understand why this... I put this on my scalp. So I don't understand how it's making hair roll down here. Y'all didn't tell me. Y'all, I've been seeing a lot of people on TikTok using this. Because, I mean, they're not lying to do work. This is not no paid advertising. I'm not getting paid from anybody to promote this. This is just real experience. This, from Costco's, works. You got to get the 5%. Because they say, why get the 2% when you can get the 5%? And I think the 2% because it's marketed to women and they said it costs more. But get the 5%, the one that's marketed to men from Costco's, it works. But it will make you start growing hair in other places. So you got to just see if the risk of looking like Teen Wolf outweighs the benefit if you're growing back any bald spot that you have. So I'm a fan of it, but I just got to figure out, I got to...
Ma'am, somebody said just keep it lined up. It ain't even that bad. Excuse me, sir, I need that. I am de-influenced. Welcome to the gang. I see you, brother. I have PCOS. This is the last thing I need. Could it be from your pillows? If your pillows are soaking in the minoxidil and it's rubbing on your face as you sleep, nah, I don't need edges that bad. That's what I'm saying. I don't want my edges to grow so much that I start growing a whole beard. And then my beard gonna be more lustrous than my husband's, and that'll be a whole problem.
Your next season is you square up and you don't blink. This ain't the season where you talking to people, oh, what I think, no. Make them look off first. See, that's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all suburbs, y'all ain't born in the ghetto. You'll never look down. You'll never take your eyes off the enemy. You make them walk away first.
Square up, y'all. Square up and be prayed up. Listen, that's the show for today. Inspiration soon come. Y'all stay blessed.
To seek the Lord doesn't mean that you will know exactly what he's going to do every step along the way. David said, the best thing I can do is to go to the land of the Philistines and to escape there. And then Saul will give up searching for me anywhere in Israel, and I will slip out of his hand. Is it possible that David in this moment isn't even really sure where God's hand is working? But all he knows is, I've got to get out of here. And when he says, I sought the Lord, he's referring back to this incident where he had to go to the Philistines, the enemies that he wanted to kill, and live with them for a season while he waited for God to do what he had promised to do. And is it possible that you are in a season right now where you're seeking the Lord, but he hasn't exactly shown you what's going to happen in a sequence of events that you can logically understand? So the word of the Lord for you is, what is the next best thing for you to do? The next best thing. Because for David, what he really wanted was to be the leader of Israel. But sometimes you can't do exactly what you want to do. And sometimes the will that God has for you is still in the process of unfolding. And sometimes the person that you're supposed to marry hasn't even moved to Charlotte yet. And sometimes the job that you're supposed to have isn't even open yet. So you get rejected 3 times for jobs that you think you'd be a perfect fit for. But the truth is, if you got that job, it would become a snare to you for the door that God is going to open. I'm talking about trusting him. I'm talking about trusting him. I'm talking about, I sought the Lord, and there was a space, and I didn't know if he heard. So what did David do? The next best thing. I would love to be fighting Saul's battles right now. I would love to be killing Philistines like I did with Goliath. I would love to be taking my kids to school every day, but I only get to see them every other weekend right now. So when I get them every other weekend, I'm going to make that count, because that's the next best thing. I would love to have somebody to take long walks on the beach with, but I don't have somebody and I don't have a beach. So I'm going to get on this treadmill and get a podcast and take myself on a walk, because that's the next best thing. I would love to have a healed body right now so I could be in church with Pastor Stephen. But right now I can't leave the house because I'm confined to this bed. But I'm going to lift my hands, because even though I can't get out of this bed, I'm going to do the next best thing. I would love to be further along in my finances by now. But I didn't save in that season because nobody taught me. But I trusted God. And I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. So I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm going to give him what I've got and trust him with what I've got. I will bless the Lord at all times. Good times, bad times. As Paul and Silas, I
got to do. You have to figure out the next 50 things. That's God's job. He said, you're fired from trying to be God. And I just want you to think about it. I just want you to think about it. What's the next best thing you can do? Go complain about it? Or praise him like he already knows? What's the next best thing? I sought the Lord. Oh, it wasn't pretty. My fears were terrible. The word fears that he uses is only used 3 other times in the Bible. It is a state so intense that it's only used 3 times in the Bible. It means horror. He said, I was in a horrible place, a lonely place, an isolated place. I was talking to a brother yesterday. He said, I'm creative, but I can't find anybody to collaborate with. I wanted to tell him, well, the next best thing is going to be, you got to open up some kind of app on your phone and just start collaborating with your phone. Y'all don't want me to teach this because we want magic wand God. We want, I sought the Lord and he heard. I saw that he heard. But sometimes, should I do it? Should I do it? I can save it. I can save it. I plan to be here next week. I can save it. I can save it. You want it now? You want it next week? Do you want it now or do you want it next week? Do you want it right now while I'm freshly anointed with this Holy Spirit to break a chain off of you going, oh, I can't go here, I can't go there, I don't have a degree, I can't start the business, I can't get out of the contract, I shouldn't have signed the lease. Why don't you just turn the apartment you're in into a habitation of a holy God while you wait on another one to come? Because the next best thing for you to do is connected to the next thing that God is going to do that you don't even know about yet. God killed Saul. David didn't have to. Oh, it's better than that. You don't even know how good God is. Saul fell on his own sword. So you do the next right thing. You have integrity. You have character. You just move on. You forgive. You be bigger than that. You go back and forth with Saul. What a word, what a word, what a word. It's hard for me to preach it to you while the Holy Spirit is still giving it to me. I'm just trying to decide, Lord, what should be said out loud and what should I ponder? Because he said they don't know what they're singing, the power of it when they say, I sought the Lord. They think that's what they're doing only in church right now. But this seeking the Lord thing is sometimes going to look like you spitting and scratching. Nobody really knows what it's like to be on those tours except Holly. Nobody knows what it's really like to look up at an arena full of people and go, Jesus, this is wonderful, and I'm terrified. Except the woman that was back there with me 2 hours before, when I'm saying it feels like razor blades in my vocal cords, and I don't want these people to feel cheated tonight. I don't want it to feel stale tonight, and I don't feel like I have the energy. And sometimes before you preach, you feel like you get the flu. But it's not in your body, it's in your mind. And for her to be with me, she'll say, come over here. And sometimes she'll just put her hand on my shoulder. And sometimes she'll press strength into my mind. I know we're supposed to be better than that. We're supposed to float on the stage on a cloud of Shekinah glory. But sometimes I'm scribbling and scratching and spitting just like you. But I'm seeking him. David thought to himself, Saul's going to kill me. But he kept seeking God even while he was thinking crazy stuff to himself. And that's what I want you to do, church. I want you to say, I sought the Lord and I sought him again. And I sought him even as I thought he didn't hear me. Even as the devil told me, you're never gonna be free from this. Your dad did it, his dad did it, and you will die an alcoholic too. Even while you are thinking that to yourself, you do the next best thing. That's all you gotta do. I promise you, I'm giving you a testimony. I saw it in my family. I saw it when my dad was dying of ALS. I wanted God to heal him. God didn't heal him. I wanted to take care of him. That didn't work out for 2 years. I couldn't take care of him. My mom was taking care of him. He became abusive toward her. So we had to put him in a nursing home. And he was way too young to be in that nursing home. I was crushed the day I walked in and he was calling bingo in a nursing home when I knew I wanted him down the street with my mom. But they couldn't be together. It wasn't safe for her. So why were we doing a Thanksgiving dinner in a nursing home with my dad while he was dying with an uncertain time limit left? Why were we eating off of paper plates, a microwave meal in a nursing home with a man who was in his 60s? It wasn't what I wanted. It was the next best thing. That's what it means to seek him. It's such a good quote. He said that faith doesn't show you the whole staircase, just enough to take the next step. The next best thing. My camera operators are usually better than this. I wanted them to show you the stairs. Can y'all not get that shot? I'm gonna buy some more cameras before next week. Come over to this side. I wanted that illustration, but let me do the next best thing. I'll use this side of stairs. Yeah. Just like that. 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 But watch this. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly sometimes. It's going to be ugly sometimes. Every prayer is not going to be pretty. Every prayer isn't going to happen in church. Every faith experience isn't going to happen in a controlled environment. But the Bible says to humble yourself under his hand, because Saul's hand is nothing compared to his hand. And 1 Peter 5:6 says, in due time, he will lift you up. One next best thing at a time. That's how he's going to bring you out. Ugly trust. Spitty beard trust. Crust in your eyes, but went anyway. Tears on your pillow. Sleepless nights, but I'm not giving up on God. Ugly trust. You know what that means to me? Ugly. Put it on the screen, y'all. It means trusting God until God lifts you. Hey, thanks for stopping by.